Okay, so if your machine has a different IP address, use that. Okay, it's not going to be same as mine. Okay, so now we have redirected. So what we're going to do now, let's take a look. Let's take a look at what we have done now. Okay, let's rerun our web server. Okay, so reload the page, and as you can see here, we are downloading the file from our web server. Okay, if I copy the link, it's going to our web server. If you see here, how you want to validate it, because it's running PHP, which is, we can see here, it's downloading from a web server. So the person who is downloading the game, they will be thinking that they are downloading a valid game. But the problem is they are not downloading from NoSim's website. They are downloading from our own website, which might be a malware. Okay, so that is what we are going to do now. All right. So everything is successful now. Okay. So as you can see here, it's downloading from our website. So now what we're going to do, okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to embed our own malware. Okay, we are going to embed our own malware into the installer file. So what happens is when the person runs the installer, so from a normal perspective, we will be creating a whole new malware that is going to just execute a reverse shell. But the problem with that is people might get suspicious, okay, because there's no installer popping up in the terminal. But what approach we are going to do today is we are going to embed into a valid application. So in this case, the application also will run, and also at the same time, our reverse shell will also be executed in the background. Okay, so how do we do that? Yeah, how do we do that? Okay, before we do anything, let's create a backup of our file. Okay, so we copy this to our backup. Okay, we copy this as a backup. And now you can see we have two files. So let's use this file to embed our malicious script. Okay. So how do we do this? For this, we are going to use an application called MSF Console and MSF Venom, which is Metasploit framework. Okay. So I guess all of you guys will be very comfortable in using Metasploit framework. Okay. Exactly. Very good. So what we're going to do now, okay. So for this, right, okay, I'm going to use this page for only cloning websites because we're going to stay organized, okay? Clone website. So I'm going to open a new tab. For this, I'm going to use MSF console. So now what we're going to do, okay, I'm going to go here under downloads. And now I'm going to use this file to embed our Metasploit framework, Metasploit exploit, okay? So for that, we'll be using MSF Venom. Okay, MSF Venom. If you dash H, you'll get a list of help. All right. So for this attack, we have to use a template. So because we are going to embed in an existing application, if you're going to create a new application, it's a different story. But we are going to embed into an existing application. So we need a template. So the template will be our Rail installer file. Our Rail installer file will be the template of our exe file. Okay. And we are going to embed our malicious script. Okay. So MSF Venom, if you want to memorize all of the commands and everything, it's very, very hard to memorize all of the syntax, okay? The formats, the subformats and everything. But interestingly, we have this website called pentest.ws, okay? It's a really amazing website where you can just create an MSF payload in less than 5 seconds. Okay. So you guys can create an account, join account here. And I have already created earlier, so I can just log in. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So now in this amazing website, I'll just give you guys some time to register yourself. Let me know when after you guys have registered. Okay, if you guys have registered, we can continue to the next session. Any questions so far, guys? Any doubts? Don't be shy to ask any questions because it's very, very hard to understand the concepts on your own. Okay, done, continue. Okay, great. Okay, thank you guys for your feedback. Because these core concepts are very hard. Many people won't actually teach you guys these concepts in the industry. You have to learn it yourself. So if you go under tools, I'm not sure if you guys are interested in using all of these features, because as for me, the shells features, after some time doing pen tests, you will memorize most of these command line syntax and everything. So it's not really helpful for me. I was not able to create a clone with my IP. So yes. There will be a recording. Okay, so the host will be sharing the recording in the group. Okay.
नको अटेंड करू त्याला काही गरज नाही तू अटेंड केलंस नाही तर नाही
त्याचं
attend
नाही
करू.
म्हणत आहे मी.
Tango, I think your mic is on.
Guys, I'm not going to be in after 5:30 today. If there's anything urgent, please message me.
Okay, great. All right. So now the most interesting feature is Venom Builder. This is amazing because you can just find your payload just by typing Windows. Okay, I want a Metapreter shell. Okay, Metapreter. And boom, I have all the Metapreter shells here. So what we're going to use here, for today's demo, I'm going to use a HTTP reverse HTTP. Why I'm not going to use TCP? Because most organizations are going to monitor TCP protocols. It's not easy to open a reverse TCP in an organization. But people will tend to forget that we can actually exploit a system through HTTP protocol. Because HTTP, if anyone is going to block any traffic coming on HTTP, no one can access the internet from an office. So they won't actually filter any traffic for HTTP. So we can actually exploit that functionality. So we are going to use reverse underscore HTTP. As you can see here, it has already automatically created the payload for us. So lhost, I'm going to use the IP address of our machine for my machine. Why not HTTPS? Okay. Yes, you can use HTTPS as well. Okay. If you want to use HTTPS, you can use HTTPS as well. HTTP. Okay. So for HTTPS, okay, we can use HTTPS as well. Okay. Let's switch to HTTPS since it's more secure for us. HTTPS, no one can actually look at our traffic. But if you're going to exfiltrate documents, anything through HTTP, someone can detect it because it's not going to be encrypted. Okay, for this demo, yes, in this case, Metasploit framework has signatures. So antiviruses are always detecting new payloads and everything. But you have to be creative. You have to create your own payload and stuff like that. But that's a very advanced topic. Even I'm still learning it. It's more towards antivirus evasion, developing your own payloads and everything, something like that. Okay. So that requires more towards uh, own what do you say programming knowledge. Okay, Metasploit cannot bypass it because they have pre-built executables. Whenever you have pre-built executables, there's a high chance that the same binary is going to be used by many people. So when an antivirus flags it as malicious, it's going to be flagged as malicious among every single antivirus. So it's better for you guys to remove some functions, renaming, or you guys can develop some your own reverse shell, something like that. Okay. excuse me. So for L port, I'm going to use 5555. Any port will do. Okay. And format, it's going to be an executable file, which is exe. Okay, exe file, output file. Okay. So what we're gonna do here, let's make the file name as setup.exe. Okay. Before that, additional parameters. Okay, I'm going to let you guys know some additional parameters. Some additional parameters I love to use is exit on exit function. Okay, exit func equals to thread. Okay, what this mean is exit func MSF Venom. If you Google this, you can have many other articles talking about it. I'll just give you a brief introduction about it. Exit function means whenever you spawn a reverse shell, it's going to run as a process. But let's say if the user exits the process, you're going to lose your shell. You don't want that happening in an infrastructure, correct or not? So if you use threading, even the user exits the process, this threading will be constantly running in background. So you won't lose your connection. So that's why we are going to use exit func thread. And next, I'm going to use prepend migrate equals to true. Why this? Because I want to migrate into a different process right after it's spawned, so that if a user closes the application, we won't lose the shell. So these two is very important. Okay. And now, if you can see here, MSF Venom payload is generated. If you click here, it's going to copy into your clipboard. And now, just paste it. Oh, okay, before that, okay, let's kill this. Okay, before that, another one more parameter. I'm going to use dash dash smallest. Okay, why smallest? Because the lesser the amount of payload we have, the smaller the size. Okay, if you see the size of our exe file, the setup file, it's 40,57346, okay, bytes. All right, that means it's around 4.5 MB, something like that. Okay, but if our payload is very huge, it can't fit into this exe file, so we don't want that happening. So we want to generate a smallest payload if possible. So we copy this. Okay, click enter, just wait for a while. Okay, meanwhile, what we're going to do, let's set up our Metasploit console. So what we're going to do, msfdb init, okay, and I'm going to use nn to run it afterwards, and just copy paste this. All right. Okay, just give me a second. Let me just kill the sessions I used before, so that it doesn't take much of space. Okay. All right, done. Okay, nice. So as you can see here, our payload size is 176501 bytes. So it is much lesser than the exe file, correct? But what we have done here, we have created a standalone exe file, which is our payload. But the thing is, we haven't embedded into this file. So how are we going to embed it into the file? So now what we're going to do, let's remove this setup.exe because we don't want that. We want to embed into the file. So before running MSF Venom, we are going to embed it using -x. Okay, -x is template. Remember just now I let you guys know just now. -x is template. Okay, if you go to MSF Venom -h, and as you can see here, it says that specify a custom executable file, which is our template. And next, very important, is to keep. That means preserve the behavior. That means it will launch a installer even after we embed our executable payload. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna keep the behavior, which is -k. Okay, make sure that all of your options are available here, -x, -k, and everything. And now enter. Okay. Okay, just give it some time. As you can see here, it automatically started our reverse handler. You see here, we no need to go and set up anything you want. Just copy this, paste this, and our launcher is set. Okay. Let's just wait for a while. Let it inject. Okay. And now you see, let's take a look at all of our exe files. And if you see here, right, our original file length is this, but our new file is setup.exe. Okay. Hopefully our payload is embedded correctly into the executable file. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we have setup.exe, right? Okay. Now, this part, just now we set as codbo3.exe, right? Okay, now we're going to set it into setup.exe. Okay, let's just change this part into setup.exe. Okay, I'm going to copy this, paste this here, setup.exe. Okay, next part, click here, search for click here, and setup.exe. Click here, setup.exe. Click here again, and as you can see here, setup.exe, and final one, setup.exe, and done. Okay, so we have all of our files. So now what we're going to do, we have our infrastructure running. All right, all good. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Next, we're going to deliver this payload to our victim. Any questions so far? All good? All right, cool. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to copy the whole index.html file. As you can see here, we have to create a landing page earlier, correct or not? Okay. We have to create a landing page so that when a person clicks our link, it goes to our fake phishing page, which is our NoSteam website. And from our NoSteam website, it's going to download our malicious installer. Okay. So let me just open up Sublime. I'm going to show you the flow. Okay. So wait. Okay, cool. So here now we are going to deliver link to our NoSteam website. Okay, which is on GoFish. Okay. So now from here, when the user clicks the link, it's going to come to our infrastructure, which is 160.80.80 downloads and setup.exe. So when the user downloads this and executes this, we are going to get a shell. Okay. So this is our basic understanding now. So now what we're going to do, we are setting up our landing page, which is the HTML page. So what we're going to do, we say clone. We can set any name we want. So in this case, I'm going to put clone NoSteam website. Okay. And we can import the site from any website. We can use Facebook, anything. But in this case, we are going to use NoSteam, which is what we configured here, correct? As you can see here, we can enter our own source code. So remove all this, paste our source code. And when you click this, you have to take a look at the source code and see whether it turns to a NoSteam website or not. If it comes something like this, then you're good to go. Okay? All good, guys? Are you guys getting this as well? NoSteam website. Yes, okay, cool. That's great. So now if you hover on this, it's going to redirect to our 8080 page. We are not going to capture submitted data because we don't have any submitted data. If we have any username or password field, it's going to capture the username password. But in this field, in this case, we are not using it. So we just save the page. Okay. Nice. Next, email template. Email template is what we are going to send to our victim. So let's create an email template. Okay. Okay. The name of our user. Okay. Let me just go through my notes to know what's the username. Okay. So the name of our user, the target is John. Okay. John. John is our username. User. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that fake COD installer. This is our email template. You can put any name you want. Okay. We can also import our email. We can import email content. We can copy from real email and paste it here. That's why I love GoFish. GoFish is really good. And email subject is going to be call of duty Black Ops 3 is out. Okay, so something like this. And now in this text, in this HTML field, let's go to our HTML field. I'm going to put hey, okay, hey, and the name of our user, which is our victim. Okay, in this case, we are going to automate all of the usernames. So we are not going to put John, we're not going to put Melina, we are not going to put Ray and stuff like that. But we are going to put a templating stuff. Okay, so how are we going to do this templating? Okay, let's head to this. Let's head to GoFish templates. Okay. So as you can see here, we have template reference. This is what we want. And these are all the templating format we need. Okay. Okay, it's loading. Okay. So as you can see here, if we insert this, it's going to automatically take the first name from our database and put it into the email and send an email to the person. So we no need to manually insert the person's name one by one. So what we're going to do is, we're going to take this first name and put this here. And maybe we can put a last name, but it will be more fake. It will be fake. Like, let's say if a person calls you by your name Mohin Paramasivam, it's going to be very fake unless it's a formal mail. But since this is a guy who is a friend with him, so it's going to be informal, which is calling him by his first name. So, comma, let's say, let's say you just put, do you know that COD Black Ops 3 is out on no Steam? Okay, this, check it out. Let's have a match. Okay. Okay. Let's say we just put download link is below. Okay. All right, done. Okay, all good. So now what we're going to do here, okay, now what we're going to do here is, so you can see here that our templating, our source, and we just enter, make it look good so that without any spelling errors or anything, okay, so that the person will actually trust our email. So you just insert our link. So why people say that do not click links from your email is because we can put a fake display text. So as you can see here earlier, right? If you go to our NoSteam website, which is our legitimate NoSteam website, right? For Call of Duty installer, it is this website. Okay. But if we are going to put this here and we are going to enter the URL, okay, what's the URL? Okay, the URL to our GoFish phishing server. So if you go to the GoFish template, Okay, if you go to the GoFish template, it says here that the phishing URL can be specified using this tag called URL, phishing URL. So this is what we want. Okay, so HTTP this URL and click OK. And as you can see here, it looks like this is a NoSteam website. But when you click, it's going to redirect to our server. Okay, all good so far, guys? All right, cool. Okay, so tracking image. We have to create this tracking image because we want to make sure that we know when the person clicks the link, when they view the link and stuff like that. Okay, so let's save the template. Save. And here we go. We have a template. Next thing, we are going to create a campaign. If in the Hindi, okay, I'm actually not from India, so I'm not really good in Hindi. I don't know how to speak in Hindi, so it's only available in English. Maybe some of you guys can translate in Hindi if possible. Yeah. So next, we are going to create a campaign. So this is our campaign. No groups found. Okay, as you can see here, we have a problem here. We have no groups found. So what we're going to do now, we have to create our victim group. Okay. So this is our victim group. Our victim group is basically the names of our victims, the email address, and the position. Okay. So what we're going to do is, let's say the company employees target. Okay. And you can import it from a CSV file as well. You can just insert it into a CSV file, Excel file, and you can just import it into your GoFish template. Okay, or you can just add it one by one. But if you have thousands of employees, it's better to have in a CSV file. The template is here, so you can download it. You need to follow as how the template is given so that it is available in the GoFish framework. So the first name for our target, okay, in this case, I know the target is John, sorry. It's John, it's going to be John, and it's going to be Doe. And the email address, okay, email address, okay, for this demo, I have an email address set, okay, let's go to our Windows machine, okay. But before that, right, okay, before sending this email, okay, before that, okay, it's okay. Let me just show you guys the email address for our victim first. All right, then we come back to this. All right, workshop. Okay, so now we are in our Windows machine. So let me just open up Google Chrome. Okay, so Google Chrome, and now, okay, I'm going to log out of this account. Okay, I'm going to log out of this account because I'm opening it in my Mac machine. So now I'm going to go to gmail.com. Okay, just for demo purposes. Okay, some reason it's loading up. Okay, so now we are redirected to the sign-in page. All right, so I'm going to log into my victim account. So victim demo phishing at gmail.com. Okay. So victim. Okay. So now I'm in my victim email address, but I'm not going to send this to our victim first. Okay. Whenever you have any targets or any phishing infrastructure or any assessment, do not send to the target hastily. That means you have to test it out thoroughly in your infrastructure so that you don't want any disappointment. Let's say if you have any typo or you have any mistakes in your email or anything, or your infrastructure doesn't work or anything, you have to test it out before sending out your any emails. Okay. So this is a test email. So let me just remove this. Take some time. So this is my email. This is the victim email. Okay. So victim demo. So it's gonna be victim demo phishing at gmail.com. So position, we know that that guy is working as an intern. Okay. So we're going to add him in this position. Okay. So we save this. And now before targeting this group, I'm going to create a new group. So I'm going to say testing. Okay. Testing. I'm going to put my name, Firmus. Let's say I'm going to put John Doe. I'm going to do a testing to my email address. Okay. Because we need to make sure that our infrastructure and our phishing emails, everything work before even sending our real phishing email. Okay. So save changes. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the campaign, create a new campaign. I'm going to say the test campaign. You can put any name you want. So as you can see, we have email templates, right? Just now we set up already fake COD installer, clone no Steam website, and the URL to our GoFish listener. Our GoFish listener website is at http 192.168.186.160, correct? Because that is our listening address. Excuse me. This is our listening address for HC0, our local host. So I enter that IP. It can be different for you guys. I repeat again. Okay. Sending profile is the profile, our attacker email address we are going to send from. Okay. And next, we're going to send group. Let's do a testing first to see whether everything works fine or not. Launch it. Okay. And email send. Okay. It says here email send. Okay. Have you guys sent your email to your email address or anything? All good? Any difficulty so far? All good, guys? Okay, I don't have any response. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you, Ashish. All right, so now we have an email sent, right? So if you check our email address at Google Chrome, good to go, sir. Okay, thank you. All right, if you take a look at our inbox now, refresh it, and you see here, it says Marcus Low. Okay, cool. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is out. Okay, cool. Hey, John. Okay, do you know that COD Black Ops 3 is out on no Steam? Check it out. Let's have a match. Download link is below. When he clicks here, it goes to our infrastructure. But the thing is, our infrastructure is not running at the moment. Our file is not running. Okay, this is our phishing site that is hosted by GoFish. If we refresh, we can see that the person has opened the link, the person has opened the email, and the person has clicked the link. Now what we're going to do, we have to set up our infrastructure. We haven't set up our infrastructure to download the file, correct or not? So we run this. Now, when we refresh the page, okay, refresh the page again, and you scroll down, as you can see, we have a download option here, correct? And let's click it here. And boom, we have a setup.exe file downloaded. As you can see, the victim successfully downloaded the installer from our machine and not no Steam website. Okay, so all good to go. Now we are going to target our victim. Okay, so our testing is successful. All templating works fine. As you can see here, it automatically took from our templating, correct? We didn't insert any of the names or anything. So when you are repeating it, it's going to take from the templating engine. Now we are good to go. We have to send it to our victim. Okay. So for victim, now what we're going to do is, we are going to create a new campaign. Okay, now we are going to target the user John. Okay, now we are going to target the user John. Let's, when we want to create a new campaign, we can create a new campaign, or you want to use the same thing as here, we can just copy the campaign. So you can see here, rail campaign. Okay, John. All right, cool. So now everything is pre-configured because we copied the same thing. Now we are just going to change the group and we are going to target the rail employees, which is John. Let's launch it. Launch. Okay. Is GoFish free? It's free of charge. You can just download it from GitHub. It's free of charge, community edition. So refresh it. Email is sent. Okay. Now as you can see here, in an inbox, you see that, hey, Marcus Lowe has sent me an email and he says that Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is out. And let's click it. Okay, cool. He opened the email. Okay. But he haven't clicked the link. Remember guys, he haven't clicked the link. Okay. If you can refresh it. Okay, email is open. It's not actually loading it. Okay. Do you know that Call of Duty Black Ops 3 blah 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 blah? Hey John. Okay, all good. He clicks the link now. And it goes to our phishing server, which is on GoFish, that hosts our fake no Steam website. Okay. Now you refresh it and you have email opened and link is clicked. Okay. Okay, it's taking us to somewhere else. Let me just close this. Okay, and you go down. Same thing. Now we are going to download a file. As you can see, if we hovers on this, it goes to the same setup file. It goes to the setup file. It goes to the setup file. So it increases our chance of getting them run our setup file. So as you can see, we have our setup file here. Okay. And now we have our Metasploit running, correct? Let's run this. Okay, run this. And as you can see, the installer for Call of Duty is running perfectly fine. Okay, he thinks that he is installing Call of Duty. Okay, he is installing Call of Duty. But one thing he didn't realize is we have a shell. We have compromised the machine by just embedding into a rail installer file. That means he is also installing a Call of Duty game, but at the same time, he is also installing our malicious exe file. So in this case, guys, do you think that it is safe to download games from a cracked website? Absolutely not. That's why people recommend you guys to run games in a virtual machine instead of running on your host machine. This is the problem because you never know that whatever is embedded into the cracked version of the games. And now you see, you have a shell. And let's just continue extract. Okay, the only problem is we have already damaged the rail extracting. Okay, I mean uninstall FIFA again. Yeah, guys, you wouldn't know. Maybe some glitches might have happened. Maybe someone is monitoring you through your keyloggers, monitoring you through your webcam. Who knows? No one knows. Because these are all cracked versions. So never run any cracked softwares on your host machine. Okay? I wouldn't recommend you guys to run cracked versions software. But if you guys are doing like cybersecurity research and let's say for example, you guys are using Cobalt Strike or IDA Pro or something, feel free to use it. Feel free to use it on your virtual machine. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, if you guys realize something, normally when you guys are installing games, okay, you see here, go to the game installation and grant admin full control, and also they will ask you to disable Windows Defender. So what does that mean? Cracked version still is it work? What do you mean? The installer is it? Okay, in this case, the installer doesn't work because we have embedded our payload. But the payload works. You see here, our MetaPreter session is opened. So the person thinks that, oh, maybe my PC doesn't support this game. So he might just go and download it by himself, or maybe he can email back and see it. But the problem is, we already have a shell. That's our main goal. We don't care whether he installs Call of Duty or not. We only care whether he installs our shell or not. That's all. We have achieved our goal. And boom, that's all. Okay? But in the upcoming days, in day 2 and day 3, I will teach you how to make sure that that person also installs their game. Okay? So I will actually cover that as well. We are going to use PowerShell for that. Okay, someone has a query here. So if I want hover and see that our IP like yes, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? The problem is most of the people don't really hover. They just click. Whenever they see a link, they just click. So that's the problem in emails. Never click a link. Copy the link and paste it in a new tab and go to that website. Do not click links from an email address because you never know what is embedded in that website. Okay? If we shorten the link, okay, if we shorten the link, even if we shorten the link, people might think that it's a fake website because if you, let's say if you shorten the link to be bit.ly or something, people will think that, hey, this is a spam email. They won't click. But why the person clicked NoSteam? Because he thinks that it's redirecting to NoSteam website. If we embed it in let's say if we put in OneDrive link, people are going to click because they think that it's going to redirect it to OneDrive account. Embed in the PDF file will work. Okay, embedding in PDF file, PDF, it depends on the application. Like Adobe has vulnerabilities. Let's say, for example, okay, let's just background my session. If you search for Adobe, okay, so if they have any vulnerabilities, then we are able to exploit it. Okay, this is a good question, yeah? What if the person is not in our network? Great question. So that is where we do port forwarding and stuff, okay? So for this, we can use this application called ngrock, okay? ngrock, it tunnels your traffic, okay? So it gives you a public URL. Let's say, for example, if you use HTTP 8080, okay? Okay, you guys can try for yourself, okay? Let's just copy this link, okay? Let's just copy this link. I'm going to paste this in chat. You guys can try for yourself. You can see that it's not going to download anything. Don't worry, guys, okay? I'm going to try it on my machine as well, okay? So as you can see, it's going to give an error. Why? Because it's running into our local host, correct or not? But the thing is, if we redirect this to our my machine 186.160 port 8080, okay, now I am giving you a new link. Okay, I'm going to give you a new link. Exactly. ngrock works best, but the problem is sometimes people blocks traffic from ngrock. So yeah, and as you can see, we have our fake server running from internet. So anyone can access your server at the moment. So whatever links you have, you just need to run ngrock and boom, anyone can access your link. And you can get a shell even using ngrock. Okay. So guys, I'm going to shut down my ngrock. So as you can see here, 14 people have connected to my links. So as you can see here, 14 people. So I'm just going to close this. Okay, now what we're going to do, we have a session. As you can see, we are in the John's PC. and the user is using test, okay, test account. Okay, for today I'm going to use test account, but tomorrow I'm going to use John's account, because on the third day I'm going to show you guys. Yes, correct. Ngrok uses public IP. What happens is people when you run Ngrok instance, it creates an public IP which is redirected to your machine. Okay, that's what happening. But it also makes you vulnerable to attacks. So get ready to get attacked also, because sometimes random DDoSing might be happening. Okay. Yes, public IP changes, but the URL doesn't change. So what happens in ngrok is when you set the L host to the IP address, the IP address might change. But when you set to the URL, whenever you dial the URL is converted to the existing IP address. So it doesn't matter. That's why always use the URL